Hello and welcome to Penguin TV. It is recorded by George Effelis, aka Whiffy Penguin, and you can follow me on Twitter at Whiffy Penguin. Penguin TV is hosted by PureMTGO.com and sponsored by MTGOTraders.com. Get an 8% discount off all orders over $50 when paying with PayPal or credit card. And you can check out CapeFearGames.com and get an extra 20% off when trading paper for digital. Enjoy the videos. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Penguin TV. This week I've got a version of Good Game Oath that I kind of put together and played in the Season 1 of MMOG's Pre/League, which I will refer to as the Preeg. The idea with this deck was that it would be good against blue decks and shop decks. Unfortunately, my games do not reflect this. They reflect exactly the opposite. But even though I did pretty poorly within the event, I feel like the deck did okay, and maybe with a little bit of tweaking could be better. I don't think it's too far off, though, and I really do like the list that I put together. So to start off with, we've got Oath of Druids into the two good game creatures, Emrakul and Blightsteel. And then we've got two Dragon's Breath, which I'm a fan of having two Dragon's Breath. Very rarely does it come up where I draw and it's a dead card in my hand. Most of the time, you know, I just have a better shot at getting haste the first turn I flip with Oath. With only one Dragon's Breath, sometimes you don't flip it. To help facilitate the Oath of Druids, we've got 4 Forbidden Orchards. They are a rainbow land that give away a 1/1 creature whenever you tap them for mana. So that works pretty well with Oath of Druids. And then we're also rocking 3 main deck Beast Withins. Beast Within is my favorite card in a long time. And it's like tailor-made for Oath of Druids. It allows you to blow up a problem permanent and give them a creature to turn on your Oath of Druids if you cannot find a Forbidden Orchard. And it's just so versatile by being an instant and being able to target your own permanents and give yourself a 3/3 creature. We've also got a pair of Ancient Grudges for the Workshop matchup. And then, kind of in line with this disruption, we've got 10 counterspells, which is more than your traditional decks, your traditional Oath of Druids decks run. Usually they run anywhere in between 6 and 8 counterspells. We've got extra mana drains, which I feel is the card that decks aren't running right now. And in this deck, we can't really take advantage of it. It's pretty much just a counterspell with upside. But it is an extra hard counter that we've got. We've got our tutors, Demonic, Vampiric, Imperial, and Tinker for either Blightsteel or either half of Vault Key. And then we've also got a Mystical Tutor. And the reason that we've got a Mystical Tutor instead of some other card is because we are playing cards like Beast Within and Ancient Grudge, and then other cards in our sideboard. We've got the alternate win condition of Time Vault and Voltaic Key. Usually, drawing either part of this results in the Vault Key activation for winning the game. Otherwise, your main game plan is to go with Oath of Druids. But increasingly, the amount of incidental hate aimed at artifacts that hit your Time Vault or your Voltaic Key has gotten pretty high in your random classic matchup. And it might actually be time to get rid of Vault Key. Maybe once we get M12 and I get my hands on some Rune-Scarred Demons, I will try out a version of the deck without any Vault Key action. But right now, for at least the event that we're going to watch today, I played these. And I don't know. I feel like maybe it's time to let go of these in an Oath build. Not in every Oath build, but at least try and build one without them. We've got Brainstorm, which is just fantastic. We've got 3, 4, 5 fetch lands to run with it. Not quite optimal, but pretty good. And then we've got 6 of the 7 mana accelerants. We're not running a mana vault, because we really don't need to mana vault into anything. But we are running all the Lotus Petals and Mana Crypt so that we can get more reliable turn 1 Oath of Druids. Our mana base is the 4 Forbidden Orchards that help turn on Oath. We've got the 5 fetch lands. And then we've got 2 Undergrounds, 2 Tropicals, 2 Volcanics, and an Island. The reason we've got 2 Volcanics is because we do have these 2 main deck Ancient Grudges. And every now and then, you can actually cast a Dragon's Breath on a Tinkered Up Blightsteel or an Oath of Druids up Blightsteel Colossus and win out of nowhere with a hard cast Dragon's Breath. And then we've also got a mana land kill package in 1 Strip Mine and 3 Wastelands. Now, the sideboard, and maybe I was a little too cute with this sideboard, and I should have played some more regular cards, but I've got 3 Mindbreak Traps for combo decks, mixed in with my 10 hard counters. I feel like combo would have been an okay matchup post-board. I did not see it. I've got 4 Leyline of the Voids, a Ravenous Trap, and a Tormod's Crypt, all for Dredge/Hermit Druid. And Perish could also come in against Hermit Druid, but primarily this is the Graveyard Hate package. I've got some Perishes in against the Fish matchup, and I guess incidentally against Hermit. And so far, we see 1, 2, 3 copies of a card that can get fetched with Mystical Tutor, making the main deck inclusion a little bit better. We've got an extra Ancient Grudge for workshops, and also the Tezzerator builds. We've got an Nature's Claim against the Mirror match, and then we've also got a Tezzeret and a Life from the Loam. And I figured that, you know, Game 2 and Game 3, people are going to bring in Hate for my Oath of Druids. So I would bring in Tezzeret and Life from the Loam and try and play a long control game. Unfortunately, either I didn't go controlling enough or it was just a touch too slow and it didn't work out. But I feel like the games were at least interesting. And then, so yeah, that's the deck breakdown. And I'm going to do a couple of goldfishes just to show you what kind of hands we're looking to keep. Go to the casual room. New game. Classic. Best 2 out of 3. And solitaire. Alright, so this opening hand, this is a pretty good opening hand. Especially if we're on the play. If we're on the play, this is just fantastic. We've got a land that can't be Wasteland or Strip Mined. And we've got 2 counterspells to play on turn 0. So no, we won't take a mulligan. We'll run out this Delta. And let's say, you know, Tropical Island. Maybe we Spell Pierce something. Here we run out the Underground. If we played the Spell Pierce, we run out Underground. And that lets us Mana Drain. If we did not play the Spell Pierce, we probably play Wasteland. Here we'll play the Wasteland, and we've just got a million counterspells in our hand. And we are just not going to drop this Forbidden Orchard until we have to. Now we kind of have to. And at this point we might have run out of spells to cast. But our opponent should be on empty as well. And we just keep drawing more counterspells. I'm up to a lot of mana. Oh, there's a Tinker, finally. Alright, so now we would Tinker and Blightsteel, and Dragon's Breath would come in from the graveyard, or I could cast it from my hand. We'll concede that. And go check out another opening hand. So, now this hand is interesting. I have one piece of protection, and I can set up a turn to Tinker for Blightsteel Colossus. I would keep this hand. And what I would do is I would run out the Underground and leave Spell Pierce open. If he doesn't play anything, I would play Mystical Tutor. I would go grab Tinker. And then here, I would go Sol Ring into Tinker for Blightsteel. If that got counterspelled, I would be in pretty rough shape. Here's an interesting trick. Something that a lot of people might not realize. If you're under pressure for whatever reason, you can always do something like this. Hey, look at that. It doesn't die, but I still get a 3/3. So that was this game. We'll do one more pre-board. Alright, so we'll keep this hand, and we'll run out with Rainforests. Having the Force of Will backup is pretty good. Although drawing all this mana, not so hot. And there's an Orchard. I wonder if I can do this. Do I count as an opponent? Nope. So you can never activate the other druids in Solitaire. That's kind of uncomfortable. But let's look at some post-boarded hands. So if we are playing against the mirror, we're going to bring in this, this, and this. And take out 1, 2, 3 Oath of Druids. And this is a pretty terrible hand. We will mulligan this. This hand, on the other hand, seems legitimate. Wow. Even more so. So Imperial Seal for Time Vault. They have the opportunity to kill our Time Vault in this interaction by, you know, giving them an extra turn. But, so if Time Vault gets nuked here, and we have to draw out, we just start drawing out. Leaving the Mana Crypt in our hand because there's no reason at all to play it. And there's a Tezzeret. See, now here, I would definitely drop this Mana Crypt. And then, yeah. Boom, goes the Dynamite. Alternatively, I could have Imperial Sealed for Light from the Loam. Here's another pretty good hand. So, turn 2 Tinker with Force of Will backup seems alright. If we were going to sideboard against graveyards, we would bring in these cards and this card. And what would we take out? We would take out Ancient Grudge, 1 Dragon's Breath, get out of there, Nature's Claim, and get out of there, Light from the Loam, and get out of there, Mana Drain. And if we're against Dredge, this hand's actually not the worst. Lead out with Strip Mine for their Bazaar of Baghdad. They'll get a Dredge out of it. And then we would Vampiric Tutor for Ravenous Trap. If we sideboarded it in. Yes, we did. There it is. Draw the trap. And now, so we're definitely on the slow plan. We don't have this Strip Mine. All we've got are these 2 lands. Another Wasteland seems pretty good. And if we can hit a Fetch Land or a Forbidden Orchard, we can hardcast our Leyline. And here we can run out of Tezzeret and search out a Voltaic Key. And, I mean, here's another pretty good hand, another good draw. Depending on what happened with this Ravenous Trap, either he's drawing off the top of his deck, or he's just filling up his graveyard with useless cards, then we haven't blown the trap yet. But, so if we run out an Oath of Druids here, we also would have gotten Time Vault with Tezzeret and won the game there. But there's a Forbidden Orchard. And so now we can play Leyline. We can Beast Within one of his permanents. So that would be one game with the sideboard. Kind of want to draw a hand without any hate. See, now this would be a pretty terrible hand against Dredge. So I'd have to mulligan this. I've got a Force of Will / Spell Pierce and a Wasteland, but this is too slow. If I also had a Lotus Petal, I would consider it, but without a Lotus Petal, this hand is just too slow. This hand, on the other hand, is almost perfect. Run out of Leyline, and we get to play Wasteland and Lotus Petal on turn 1. And we'll play Time Vault on turn 1 as well. And with Leyline in play, I would actually skip my turn. Imperial Seal for the Voltaic Key. And so now this puts our Dredge opponent in a very nasty position. If he has a hate spell for the Leyline of the Void, now he needs to use it on my Time Vault, or he just loses the game. Also making him slower against the Leyline, and giving me more time. So that would be another post-sideboard game against Graveyards. And then, I mean, against Combo, you sideboard in Mindbreak Traps. Against Fish, you sideboard in the Parishes. Against Shops, you sideboard in the Ancient Grudges and the Nature's Claim. And that's about it. I will see you guys for round 1.